Hello everyone, we have a recap Roman with you, and today I will tell you about the series The X-Files series with Leonard Betts. At the beginning of the film, we are shown a seriously ill patient who is being driven by an ambulance. Dr. Leonard is trying to save the patient's life. He quickly understands what the reason is. He determines that the man's lung is affected by cancer. This amazes Michelle so much that she gets distracted from the road, drives out to the intersection, and a truck crashes into them. When Michelle wakes up, she goes to look around and finds Leonardo on the side. During the collision, his head is torn off. Leonardo's body is sent to the morgue. At night, the morgue attendant hears a noise and goes to see what happened, but then he is knocked out. In the morning, they discover that Bat's body is missing. FBI agents Mulder and Scully are sent to investigate the disappearance of the body. They find out that Leonard was in good standing at this clinic and had many thanks. Considering that the alarm in the morgue didn't work, the agents conclude that there was no penetration from the outside, which means that Leo's corpse just got up and left by itself. At least that's what Mulder thinks, but Scully insists on the abduction of the body. The guard almost resolved the agents' dispute. He brought a printout of an image from CCTV cameras showing a man in stolen clothes. However, interference prevents you from seeing his face. The guard says that the interference is due to old cameras. She takes Mulder to the department where biological waste is stored, which is then sent for recycling. Here, Scully forces her partner to dig into body parts and human organs, and Mulder's perseverance is rewarded. They find Betts's head. He is not eager to stay close to this container. Therefore, he goes to Leonardo's apartment to see how he lives. Scully is going to open the found head. It is surprisingly well preserved. There are no signs of decomposition. After a cursory examination, Scully takes up a scalpel to open the skull, but then Bat's eyes and mouth open. Scully is horrified. She felt uneasy from the revived head. Mulder arrives at Betts's apartment and looks around. He goes to the bathroom and sees a lot of iodine here. He discovers footprints and an open window, as if a person stained with iodine was trying to climb inside or get out. At this moment, Scully calls him and informs him about what happened to Betts's head. She thinks it's residual electrical impulses and nothing more, but Mulder doesn't think so. He found clothes in the apartment that the person on the record was wearing. Mulder is about to set up surveillance of the doctor's house when he leaves the bathroom and the bat rises. The next day, Mulder goes to talk to Michelle. She says that Betts was a unique doctor. He could identify almost any disease at once, and especially cancer. She even advised him to transfer to oncology. While Mulder was talking to Michelle, Scully decided to conduct a layer-by-layer study of Betts's head. To do this, it was placed in an epoxy resin, and after hardening it was cut into layers. When examining one of the layers, it turned out that the brain was affected by cancer. Moreover, there is not a single healthy cell left here. Michelle was returning to the hospital from another call when she heard Leonardo's voice on the radio. She did not believe that it was him, and the medic who hurried the girl did not allow her to check. After all, it was necessary to get the patient out of the car. Mulder turns to Dr. Marks. A slice of Betts's head is brought to him, and Marks discovers that she has a strong enough aura in the picture. You can even see the shoulders, which the severed head clearly did not have. After this study, Mulder hypothesizes that the presence of cancer in Bat's body is a normal condition that helps him regenerate. During the conversation, she gets a call and is informed that Batts has a middle name, Albert Tanner. They found him by fingerprints, and Albert has a mother whom he and Mulder are going to visit. In her house, they find a photo of Batts, and it turns out that this is her son who died in an accident 6 years ago. Scully can't believe it and is asked to show her the death certificate. Hearing Leonardo's voice on the radio, Michelle decides to find out what she can about it. She makes inquiries and finds out that Batts is alive and has re-entered the job, but in a different hospital and under a different name. Michelle finds him in the parking lot. Batts confesses that he is alive, hugs her to calm her down, and he puts a syringe with a lethal injection. Michelle is dying. A clinic security guard notices Batts, catches him and handcuffs him to his car door. While he was going to get help and check on Michelle, Batts tore off his finger, took his hand out of the handcuffs and fled. Arriving at the scene of Mulder and Scully, and found out that the car to which Batts was chained belongs to his mother. In the trunk, they find removed cancerous tumors. Mulder is sure that Batts eats them to increase his ability to regenerate, and he also convinces Scully that this man is a new round of evolution. His partner is finally starting to believe in this theory. Having obtained a search warrant, the partners go to the house of Batts' mother. The woman admits that she knew about her son's abilities. Meanwhile, Batts has tracked down a new victim. He needs to speed up the regeneration of the finger, so he found a man with lung cancer and killed him. Then he cut out the tumor from him and absorbed it. After that, frightening changes began began to occur with Betts. A new head appeared from his body as if he was shedding an old shell. In his mother's house, Mulder found the key to the warehouse where Betts was hiding, and he and Scully went there. Arriving at the scene, they saw a puddle of blood flowing from under the door, and when they opened it, they found the corpse of a man. Betts was also here. He almost ran them over with a car, and when the agents opened fire, the car exploded. Betts was pronounced dead, but Mulder is convinced that he is still alive. This is just a way to deceive agents to prove their case. He opened the coffin with the corpse of Albert Tender, who died 6 years ago, and both corpses were identical. Scully assumed they were twins, but Mulder insisted that Betts was still alive, and it really was so because his mother washed his newly formed body with iodine solution. To give him strength, she was ready to sacrifice herself and allowed her son to cut out and eat his tumor. Immediately after that, Leonard called the paramedics. When the ambulance arrived, Mulder and Scully were on duty at the house of Betts' mother. They sent the woman to the hospital, and Scully went with her. Mulder stayed looking for Betts. At the hospital, Scully realized that Leonard was somewhere nearby. She managed to tell Mulder to go to her, and a minute later Betts attacked her. He sensed a cancerous tumor in Scully's body and wanted to cut it out, but she managed to fight him off by hitting the defibrillator discharges. From this, Betts dies. When it was over, Scully back to her usual life. However, she woke up in the middle of the night from coughing and found blood on the bed. It was dripping from her nose. At that moment, Scully realized that she had cancer. And that's it. If you liked the video, then subscribe to the channel and like it. I had a recap Roman with you. Bye to everyone.